Aren't you concerned about the 49ers now?
No.
I am going to suggest a trade to my boy Philly 500. And I'm going to ask him if he'd be interested in this. And by the way, it also will tell us a little bit about Howie Roseman and whether or not he truly believes in Jalen Hurts. Let's bring our friend in, Philly 500. Brother, you're 6-0.
I am 6-0, baby. 6-0. How about that?
How you feeling about it?
I feel great.
Wait a minute. You think you're the best team in the NFL?
No,
best record
I think we're the best.
Doesn't mean you're the best team, but do you feel it?
It's hard to say the NFL because I look at that AFC and I think they're pretty damn good. Like, I'm not sure, against Buffalo, Kansas City, those teams. But I'm sure we're the best team in the conference in the NFC, meaning we only have to play one of those teams if we meet them in the playoffs. We're in the Super Bowl.
Aren't you concerned about the 49ers now?
No. Listen, I
so wait a minute. Christian McCaffrey, Kittle, Deebo Samuel, great O-line, defense that could be as good or better. They've won a ton of games the last couple of years. I mean, no, nothing.
I think I'll say this, and I said this in a video last night. I think that with McCaffrey, the acquisition of him, getting him with Shanahan and the way he uses running backs, if he stays healthy, I think they very well could be the toughest team in the conference that we're going to face or would face. I think they could be our number one competitors because they do got a lot of talent. There's no question about it. There's talent across the board with that team. So if they can stay healthy, I would say they may be because I don't think much of the Rams. I don't think much of the Bucks. I don't think much of Green Bay at this point. I think we've already beat Minnesota. And then, the Giants, I think they're a scrappy good team, but I don't think they're ready. So I would say the 49ers, if healthy, they could be the number one threat in the conference.
Those two teams, I think, are going to fight it out for home field advantage. And right now, obviously, the Eagles have a 2-game lead in that. And I agree. I think those two teams are going to meet probably at the link for the NFC Championship. Okay, I threw that out there earlier. Yeah. I want to throw this at you now.
Okay.
Wait, okay, well, I think first I have to ask it this way. Okay. So if you're sitting here now at 6-0, and by the way, it's not just 6-0, it's 11 of the last 12 that Jalen Hurts has won regular season games. And Shane Steichen, since he's been the offensive play caller, how about this, Philly? Shane Steichen's 15-4 since that 2-5 start as the play caller. Are you sold Jalen's your guy moving forward for the next 7 years?
I'm 80% there. I said all along I wanted to see 10 weeks of the regular season.
Okay.
So we haven't gotten there yet. But I think he's going to be. Big time trending there. And if you were to tell me, if you're saying that to say that, would you do something with one of those picks or your first round pick?
Yeah,
I would take a chance.
How
Hell
about
yeah.
this? Here it
I'd take a chance.
Brian Burns, 6'5", 250. He's 24. Listen to the production here, Philly. 8 sacks, 9 sacks, 9 sacks. Currently, right now, he's got 4, and he's on pace for 13 sacks. He's 24. Would you take that 32nd pick? And that's where you are in the draft order right now, obviously. The number 4 pick, you're not going to really do anything there until probably the April draft there. I don't think there's anything out there that you're just going to go, here's the 4th pick. That's not going to work. But that 32nd pick, would you gamble and go get that kid from Carolina?
Right away. I'll even drive him to the airport. I'm on my way right now because I would drive him to the airport. Absolutely. I think the Eagles could definitely use another pass rusher. And like you said, he's 24. What I really like about him is that you're not just bringing him in for 1 year. This isn't just a 1 year, come in, let's see what we can do. You bring him in for the long haul. You're going to lose Brandon Graham next year, possibly, Fletcher Cox, possibly. You're going to lose Derek Barnett, even though nobody cares about Derek Barnett. So you need another pass rusher, maybe two.
You lead me right into the next topics here. Let me throw this at you here. I wrote down 14 free agents. And in my book, I got down at least 12 of these guys will not be on the ball club next year, which means it's going to be a new-looking Philadelphia Eagle team next year because of many of these guys on one-year deals, Philly, and impending free agency. Gardner Minshew's gone. He's not going to stay here. He's just not. That's why I say the Eagles are probably in the rounds 3, 4, and 5. You're probably going to draft a quarterback in there and look for a quality kid there. So you'll go into a draft to get a kid on a rookie deal. This guy makes $2.5 million. He makes $1 million more than Jalen. You save money there. Miles Sanders, has he changed the room at all for you that you bring him back? He's on pace for 1,400 yards. Are you going to let a 1,400-yard back walk out the building?
Yes. They're going to let him walk out the building. I think the way the league looks at running backs nowadays, you're not going to pay a running back that kind of money. You're just not. So I think he's going to go. He's going to have a great year. He's going to go somewhere else. But you could get a running back in the second round, third round. They can find somebody to replace him. I
agree. Isaac Seumalo, your starting right guard. Do you let him walk out the building? Knowing this, Philly, this is probably the worst year I've ever seen in offensive line play. Knowing that these guys are going to all be highly sought after when they walk out of the building at the end of the year. Do you let Seumalo walk out? Yeah, I let him walk. I think I like Seumalo. I like him in the run game. I think that you can replace him though. You can't keep everybody. I think that they could draft somebody. I trust Stoutland to get somebody and find a way to develop them. So I would let Seumalo go. James Bradbury. He has to come back. Hang on now. Hang on. Yeah. Here's the franchise tag, which means this is market value. You're going to pay him $17.2 million? Franchise tag him. You're gonna franchise him still at 17.2. I would do it. Okay. I want you to remember you said that because we're going to continue here. Okay. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a free agent. Are you signing him or not? Yes. There's another 17.2. Wait. I got to franchise both of them? No. You got to pay him. He's 17.2 and then well, don't you think he's going to be, if he went on the open market right now, that guy would get market value as a salary contract offer? I mean, hey, you got to. You don't think that guy would? I think that guy is more apt to get 17.2 than what James Bradbury would get. Well, you're paying. What's this? Well, he's a safety. You're paying him as a safety, right? So safety gets paid he's less. A corner though too. See, well, that's going to be interesting because the Eagles are going to want to pay him as a safety. And he's going to want corner money. So you may have an issue there. Because he'll go on the open market knowing he'll get more money as a corner. He might, yeah. So then here, do you have any idea? Because I don't. Is Slay a $17 million guy? Yeah. Okay. You got $54 million lined up and 3 dudes in your secondary. You're comfortable with that? For 1 year, I would do it. Now look, I'll tell you where you're getting the money from. You're obviously dumping Hardgrave and you're dumping Fletcher. There's $30 million right there. So you kind of just moving money on the defense around, right? Yeah. So we're in agreement then that Fletcher, because I think the secondary has been the star of the defense this year. It is, yeah. Do you agree? I agree, 100%. Do you also agree then that Hardgrave and Fletcher are gone? Yeah. I think there's a good chance that that's going to happen. I think at least Fletcher's gone for sure. I really believe he's gone. I think Brandon Graham is probably gone too. So yeah, I think there's a good chance they're both gone. What about TJ Edwards?
I'd like to keep him. Yeah, I would keep him if I can.
So you're going to pay him $10 million?
What are my other choices? Let him walk and then pay who?
Well, what about Kobe Dean? When's this kid playing?
Well, well, I'm assuming Kobe Dean comes in for Kaiser White, right? You still have Kaiser White, who's a free agent
White's
also.
A free agent too.
Yeah, I'd let Kaiser White go, and I'd keep Edwards at this point.
Okay, so White you would let go and keep Edwards, and then Nakobe takes over for Kaiser.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
Andre Dillard.
Gone.
Okay. Boston Scott.
Gone.
Zach Pascal. $1.5 million.
Well, for 1.5, if I can get him for the price I'm getting him now, I keep him.
Yeah, I keep him. Marcus Epps.
To be determined. I'm not sure yet.
A lot of new faces. Don't you agree that Howie's got – I mean, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, a lot of new faces.
Hey, Philly, it's one thing to sit here and say that they've got a Super Bowl window.
Right.
You got a Super Bowl window if things fall right here, because there's going to be a lot of guys that want to get paid. James Bradbury was insulted by the Giants' offer. He's not going to get insulted again by it.
Yeah. I mean, you're telling me, if you're asking me, would I bring Bradbury? I would bring Bradbury back. I think you got to try. But the reality of the situation is, I don't know that can happen, because he's playing at a Pro Bowl level right now. So he's going to want to get paid. So you might be right. The only way to deal with him may be to franchise him. That I don't know the Eagles are going to do that. So he may end up walking. What I would like to see happen is if you could keep Bradbury one more year and then draft a corner early, like in the first round, and then let that corner learn behind Slay and Bradbury for 1 year. Something to that effect. But it's going to be hard to keep all those guys. It definitely is. But I look at Bradbury. Bradbury, Slay, and Maddox. That secondary is lights out. Lights out.
There's the reason that they're playing well, and the reason that they're really changing the game is because of the way the secondary is playing. And this is another reason why I'm sitting here and I look at their pass rush outside of the Washington game. They're on pace for 33 sacks. They had 29 last year. Philly, they're not getting massive production on that pass rush. You think Howie does make a move, whether it's Burns or not? You think he makes a move at that position, or do you think November 1 he makes a move for another position?
I think there's two positions that he may make a move for. I think defensive line is one of them. I think they need to add another pass rusher. I definitely agree with you. And part of it is, in my opinion, is Jonathan Gannon. He's stubborn. He does not want to bring pressure. He does not blitz. He blitzed the Cowboys 3 times last week. So to me, that's part of the problem. But you also need to upgrade the spot. So I think that position is one position where they're going to definitely look to upgrade. I think the other one is safety. I think, we all saw what happened when Chauncey Gardner-Johnson came out of the game with Kevon Wallace. I think they have a depth problem at safety. You can't afford to lose one of those two guys. So I think they need to look for safety. I was kind of fascinated with Jabril Peppers right now, because Jabril Peppers is he's fourth on the depth chart in New England. He's not being paid a lot of money, and he can play special teams. You have a horrible return game. So maybe somebody like that is somebody that they could bring in. But those are the two positions I'm looking at.
Have you been pleasantly surprised by Sirianni, or did you see it right away, or has he kind of grown on you a little bit on how he's handled himself with this football team, and how he's handled himself most notably with the front office, and how he done it? It just seems that Frank Reich coached him well and told him what he needed to do to get that job and keep that job. I don't know. It just seems it's pretty impressive for me.
I like him. I liked him last year when he kind of changed what they were doing offensively. He kind of won me over there, over then. And so far, for the most part, I like him. I do think, And my biggest issue with the Eagles right now is I think that they need to learn how to put teams away.
Yes.
Like, there's too many times that this team does not know how to put teams away. Like, I think maybe, and I'll ask you to use the play in the NFL. Like, I almost feel like it's a coaching situation. Like, the coach doesn't have a feel. Like, that Cowboy team was out. They went for it on 4th and inches, didn't get it, and they looked down, dejected. And he ran like 3 straight times and was perfectly content kicking a field goal when it was like, no, you got to go for the kill right now. And I think they have to learn how to put teams away. That's my biggest issue.
This is what they're doing, Philly. First, and I'll say this to you. Don't you feel that in all 6 games, they've been the alpha team?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, when you're Mike Tyson, act like it. And so the problem that he does, they get a lead, and then what he'll do is he'll go into that soft shell zone, and he'll allow the zones to open up, and dummies like Cooper Rush, dummies, interns, substitute teachers, like Cooper Rush will bring you back into a game where you're 2017. Then you've got to go on a 13-play drive like you did in the last 2 previous games to close them out. That's going to haunt you when you play a really good quarterback like a Josh Allen. Say you do get to the Super Bowl, or Patrick Mahomes, that's going to come back to bite you because, dude, when you have a guy on the ropes, you're not looking to knock him out. You're looking to kill him. I want him out of there.
Out. I agree. And if you look at every game, I mean, you look at the Detroit, Washington, even the Jaguars after falling down 14-0, we took command and control of that game and we let them back in. We let these teams come back in, and one day it's going to bite us. That is my biggest issue I have with the coaching staff right now, because I feel like it's them. I feel like they don't know when to go for the kill. They don't know how to finish a team. I really feel like that.
Finally here. I got a problem with Happy Meal Davis, Big Mac Davis. Dude.
Oh, my man, Jordan Davis, really? Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Happy Meal, man. I mean, this guy, when he's in the game, hey, Philly, when he's in the game, they're a force on the run.
Yeah.
And when they take him out, it better not be how he's playing the guy that makes the money. And that's why, and I know the rule. Here's the rule in the NFL. If you're paying him, you're playing him. And I get it.
Right.
And that's the rule. And it's the rule that's always been there for 100 years. So I understand it. But you're hurting a team when you don't have Big Mac in there and him stopping the run. I mean, do you think they're handling Jordan Davis right? Because I hope, hey, Philly, I hope it's not because he's not in shape. It's 6 games, kid.
Yeah. Well, early in the Detroit game and those early games, he'd have one play and they'd show him and he'd be like, he was sucking wind. But the last few games, he makes a play and then he runs the sideline and they show him and he's not winded. They just pulling him out. I think he needs more snaps. Arguably, I would play him almost as much as Fletcher Cox, if not more. I actually think he's gotten better each week, and what he does against the run. But I think he needs reps. So I don't think it's because of the shape or what shape is. I think it's because he's a rookie and they want to play those other guys.
Got to get Big Mac Davis in there more.
I agree.
Guy in there, man. Hey, what's this after a hard 22 plays, man? Yeah, 2 Happy Meals, quarter pounder. Give Big Mac Davis.
Hey, he's starting to make plays though.
Dude, I think he's good. I think he's good. Hey, Philly, I'm making fun, but I think he's good.
Yeah, I think he's good too. And we ain't scared of the 49ers. Let me tell you, Jimmy Garoppolo, we ain't worried about the 49ers. You know what I'm saying?
Look out for the Niners and Garoppolo. Hey, wait a minute. Okay, well, wait. Let me do this to you here. Hold on for a second. What's Jalen done that Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't 3 times or more?
Well, I mean, Jimmy's been playing longer too, right?
41-17.
I know, and yet
he's been to 2 NFC championship games, and he's won one.
I know, it's great, but he beat. Give my boy time. Give my boy time. Give him time. This. Give him time. Let's see this thing finish. All I know is this: Jimmy Garoppolo, they didn't beat Chicago. Well, Trey Lance was playing, right? I mean, if they thought he was so great, why did they give up all those picks for Trey Lance? You know,
well, I'll tell you what, they were a little shaky in trying to get rid of him, though, don't you think?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, I think Garoppolo could win with a good roster. I think they have a good roster, but I think the Eagles have one too. And I think that with Jalen,
Eagles are
you
better.
know, they're better. But the thing with Jalen is yeah, of course we know where he needs to improve and things like that. But I got to tell you, we talked about blowing the leads the last few weeks, and it comes to a situation where you're in the fourth quarter, you need a big drive to go win it. He's put it together.
Yeah.
He's done what he's had to do. So I give him credit in that regard. But the truth, the schedule is weak, man. I mean, who are they really going to play that's really going to test them?
I don't even think Green Bay. I don't even think Green Bay anymore.
No, they got Pittsburgh, Houston, Washington, and Indianapolis. Their next 4 games. They're going to win all those games.
Yeah,
they'll be 10-0. So that's 10-0.
Philly, the only way they lose a game is because they have injuries that one particular week where a guy can't play and something like that happens. Because I don't see it. They'll be favored in every football game.
Yeah.
This year, right?
Yeah, I agree. And see, I think the Niners know. And I think the Niners looked at the NFC conference and they said, "This is the conference is open. We're not that far off." And I think that Howie's going to think the same way. I think the Eagles have to think the same way. We're going to probably be 10-0 with chance of number 1 seed. We've got to do something right now to take a shot. I think they got to make a move and try to get better. I do.
You think that was a big win over Dallas?
Huge. It was a monstrous win.
Why?
Because Dallas had beaten us the last few years. You hear about this thing where the Cowboy players came up to Sirianni, said that you're not even your team's not even the same league, right? It's Dallas. They were the division winners. They're supposed to be the team, and to beat them the way you did when you're 5-0 on Sunday Night Football, I thought it was as big of a game as you can get in October. So yeah, I think it's another step in the right direction.
Dude, you're awesome, man. I mean, I agree.
Awesome.
Pittsburgh Steelers on the flip side. Can you? I don't see this team. Oh, right. You don't buy the Giants. I don't.
I don't think the Giants are. Yeah, they're scrappy. And if you look at all the games they've won, they've been trailing at halftime, and then they kind of sneak back in it. So I think they're scrappy. I think they're well coached, but I don't think they're a true threat. I definitely don't. And hopefully New Orleans keeps losing, because can you imagine this team being the number 1 seed in the playoffs and then getting a top 5 pick?
Top 5.
It's ridiculous.
Right now you're 4. Yeah. What if they're 2?
then you trade. Then I'm assuming hopefully you keep Hurts, and somebody's going to want to trade up and give you lots of picks for a quarterback. So we'll see.
No doubt, man. Brother, have a great weekend, man. I appreciate you coming aboard. Don't forget to check out Philly 500's podcast. It is absolutely outstanding. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, my man.